Sean Myers here, the Westmoreland Sports Network, now joined by Bobby Sadler, the head coach of the Franklin Regional Panthers baseball team before they embark in the 5A postseason. And first off, Bobby, congrats. I guess a four-way tie as section champs, a quad-way section championship for your team. One of the more crazier scenarios that I've seen recently. For you, I'm sure you just wanted to win as many games as you could at the end of the stretch, and you knocked off Penn Trafford. But what was your thoughts and the reaction after you and your team had realized you had gotten a four-way split of the section title?
Well, after the game against Penn Trafford, we were still waiting on the news as far as Plum and Fox Chapel. So I was just extremely happy that the boys played so well against PT that series. They could have easily folded after the tough losses to Plum, but they came out on Monday, battled, won that game against Penn Trafford, battled, won that game 6-2. And then, Max Bernadowski came out and just, pitched extremely well in the final section game. Getting a 1-0 win. So I was ecstatic that we finished the season where we did, but then I was even more excited whenever we saw the news that we were going to be section champs as well.
So another really good regular season, and you mentioned those two wins against PT at the end. How did you see your team improve from start to finish?
I just think that we played a complete, 7 innings of baseball as far as those games were concerned. And, throughout the course of the season, we sat there and we said that we want to be playing our best baseball at the end of the year. And, knocking off PT, who is, one of the best teams in 5A, that should give the boys a boost of confidence just to know that they are playing at an extremely high level, playing 7 innings, getting the job done in all aspects of the game.
You have a lot of good players who are sophomores and juniors, and obviously guys like Williams and Ramchandran have deserved and gotten a lot of attention. But your senior group, I think, always is a special one. And when you get to the playoffs, I think their voice carries some extra weight. So when you think of the senior class, what stands out and who are the guys that are leading the way?
The senior class, this was the first group that I started with Junior Legion. So we spent a lot of time together throughout the years. They're just an extremely hardworking group. They're willing to do anything that's required of them for the team, whether, it be, the bench guys, doing hitting charts, pitching charts, things like that. Shagging foul balls, things like that. The guys are just, they're consummate team players. Leadership wise, I think it runs up and down the senior class. Max Bernadowski, Blake Bertucci, Owen Sinclair, they were voted captains for the squad this year, and they have done an exceptional job leading the way for the boys, not just vocally, but leading by example.
Let's talk about the playoff bracket. So that four-way tie, I think everyone was fascinated to see how it would play out with the seeds. And Fox Chapel gets the best seed out of the four teams as the number 2. Penn Trafford goes the lowest at number 7, and you were in the middle kind of as the number 6 seed. So how did that align with the expectations you had?
We were talking with the boys, and, we said that, no matter where we're seated, you're going to be facing a good team, in the first round. We sort of fell where we expected. We were, fine with the 6th seed. Anybody that you play, like I said, in the first round, it's going to be a tough test. You got to come out and, you got to hit the ground running from the first pitch in the playoffs because that's, it's a one and done. So we got to make sure that we come out and play our best baseball against Connellsville on Wednesday and let the chips fall where they may.
I know you as a veteran coach have been here before. Obviously, you've made some great postseason runs, but there's probably a lot of your players who haven't been because remember last year you missed the playoffs in kind of heartbreaking fashion. So how satisfying was it to get here for those guys who hadn't experienced it yet? And how much do you kind of have to prepare them for what is a, back against the wall, lose and go home scenario?
Yeah, that was the first box that we checked off qualifying for the postseason, which, as you said, it's a goal of ours every year. And unfortunately, we fell short last year. I think the preparation is, just in practice, practicing at a high level, at a high compete. The boys all year, I think whether it be during our practices or after hours, whenever they work out on their own. They're absolutely grinding. They don't want this season to end. So I think that, between past years, varsity, albeit not last year, and I think what we've done in the summer, I think the boys are battle tested. I think they're ready to go. I think they, really want to compete for each other, and they want to bring, a long WPIAL run home for not just themselves, but everybody in the community.
You're going to be playing not too far from home. You make the very short trek to Gateway High School, a field I'm sure you're very familiar with. And on Wednesday, you'll go against number 11 seed Connellsville area. So what do you know about the Falcons? And even if you don't know a ton about them, what's key to success?
Key to success is just minimizing self-inflicted wounds. We need to. It starts on the mound. We have to get a good start. We need to, pound the strike zone. Walks, and unforced errors, they just can't happen in playoff baseball. You can't give a team additional outs, and you can't give a team free base runners. That's where it starts. We have to pick each other up. Like I always say to the boys, it's kind of cliche, but if a mistake happens, then somebody has to be the guy that wants to end it. Timely hitting is huge in playoffs. Pitching is at a premium. You're going to see arms up and down 5A that are going to be solid. So if you have runners in scoring position, you just have to find a way to execute it and get those guys in. So I think those are just some of the things that we have to do in order to be successful against Connellsville, who we know is a very, very good team. And we're not going to take them lightly, obviously.
Lastly, I had a chance to see your team against Kiski area non-section, and I know it wasn't the outcome you wanted, but it was a pretty special day because it was senior day, and we also saw a pretty special moment as Blake Bertucci was there to catch the first pitch from his brother Luca. And I know for the people in the community probably know the story, but for those who don't, Luca's battling cancer. Obviously, he's still a part of this team in many ways. So not just that day, but all season long, how has that kind of been a motivating and inspiring factor for the entire team?
I can't speak, for the entire team. I just know that everybody has been well aware of what Luke has been going through, and it's just inspirational on a personal level to see someone go through something like this with just such a positive attitude, just smiling. Every single time I talked to him, whether he was having a bad day, he would always say, "I'm staying strong, going to get through this." And just seeing the resiliency and the toughness and the determination from a kid going through something like this, it just puts things into perspective, and it lets you know that we really need to embrace playing baseball, because there's people that don't get that opportunity, not just Luca but other people, for whatever reason. And I think that the boys are in a position to do special things this year, and we definitely want to bring something home for Luca, and he's fortunately been a part of the ride. He's been going on some trips with us, so we look forward to him making the run with us throughout the WPIAL playoffs.
Well, hopefully it is a long run indeed. Bobby, thanks so much for doing this as always. We appreciate you taking the time.
I appreciate it, Sean. Have a good one.